There we go. What's good, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber back at it again with another action figure review. So today, guys, I figure we take a little break from Spawn because I've been reviewing a lot of Spawn figures because of my big old amazing Spawn haul. But being that this guy was in my Spawn haul and I got him loose and I got him for a really, really good deal, and I figure he is worth a review, worth a look at. As you can see, he just looks freaking awesome. Now, guys, if you have seen a review of this Leatherface, he is from the movie Maniacs. And also, we're going to take a closer look at him, his accessories, his articulation, but we're also going to do some comparisons with those guys over there. Did you see him? Of my other two horror figures that I own. The only figure that I'm really missing is Michael Myers, and that would complete my 4 horsemen of horror. So I might find a Michael Myers somewhere, and I might do a review of him on Halloween. I figure that would be a good opportunity. Halloween is maybe, what, a month away, a couple months away. And here is Leatherface. So guys, before we go into the articulation, we'll take a closer look at Leatherface and then we'll do some comparisons. Of course, over there is Freddy and Jason. That Freddy is a movie maniac, that Jason is actually a NECA. So let's take a look at the movie maniacs. Of course, they come included with splattered blood. You can't go wrong there. And very, very nicely detailed. The face, I don't know too much about the face. You know what? I've only seen a few Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, just glimpses of them here and there. I have never watched the full thing, full movie of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very, very nicely detailed. There's his pants. And I don't really know the story of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know they've remade it. I have an idea of who the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. Excuse me, Leatherface is. In my Spawn haul, I confused him with Michael Myers because obviously he does have a similar vibe going on, as you can see. So let's take a closer look at his chainsaw. Its articulation, can barely hold it. I remember watching another reviewer review this figure and how he had the chainsaw was very, you couldn't really get him holding the chainsaw all that well. I guess he goes like this, and then you're supposed to put that right there in his hand. Of course, this doesn't really twist. And I see the problem that he was having, but I think the best way for him to hold this chainsaw, guys, is I think if you put it above his head, like so, and I think if you put his hand up there like so, I think that's the best way to hold it. It's kind of like that, because that's what the Chainsaw Massacre, from the few scenes I've seen from the Chainsaw Massacre, that's pretty much how he holds it, like that, up in the air. And whether or not he's going to be able to hold it is another story. So kind of like that. So that's how I think the Leatherface holds. I keep calling it Chainsaw Massacre. I think that's how this Leatherface is supposed to hold the chainsaw. I've seen reviewers trying to place the chainsaw, him holding it down, but it doesn't really stay very well when he holds it like right here by his waist. So I think the best way to pose this Chainsaw Massacre is have the chainsaw up in the air, because I've seen when I've watched parts of the Chainsaw Massacre movie, that's how Leatherface had the chainsaw. Is he was holding it up in the air above his head like that. And I think he actually looks pretty good like that. Because if you try to put it down like that, where he's holding it below waist level, he can't really hold it all that well. Like you put it right there, and then you try to get him to hold this chainsaw. I mean, I guess it looks good like that. I mean, yeah, you can kind of get him to grip it if you have him hold it up a little bit like that. Or you can have him hold it like that. It depends, you know. Or you can have him holding above his head. I actually like it above his head, but he doesn't look too bad holding it like that. Very, very, very cool figure. I am a big fan of movie Maniacs. Very, very classic figures. His head does turn. It's kind of hindered by his jacket right here. This right here, his apron is kind of made like a leathery plastic, which I don't think you can take off. I think it's kind of glued to his chest. And there's his feet. I don't know how well you guys can see the blood on his black pants. His chainsaw with the blood on it. His apron is just covered with blood. Very, very cool figure. So he comes with a couple accessories. Of course, this little dancing clown right here on this little table. Like I said, I'm not really too familiar with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I don't know the significance of this little guy. Or it could be just for decoration or what. And then he comes with a bloody bucket. Very nicely, well-detailed bloody bucket. So we'll put that right there. Very, very cool display piece. So we'll bring in Jason. So here's Jason standing next to Leatherface, and of course this is from a different line. This is NECA, so I don't know if this is the actual size of Jason. If he is taller than Leatherface, I'm guessing he would be, because Jason's a pretty big guy. And then you have another movie Maniac. You have Freddy Krueger, which stands about at the right level, I guess so, yeah. So I guess Leatherface would be kind of a stocky guy anyways, a short, stocky guy. And Freddy, of course, I think is taller than him. And Freddy is not standing all the way up. He's kind of hunched over. And then Jason would be the tallest one, of course, even though this is NECA right here. If you guys didn't see the reviews of my Freddy and my Jason, please check it out. But the main guy right here is Leatherface himself. Very, very nice figure. Very, very, very well detailed. That face sculpt is ugly as hell. That's probably one of the reasons why I like it. He is just ugly, ugly, ugly. So guys, let me give you a rating of this figure. Of course, this is going to be a very short video simply because he was already unpackaged, so that took 2-3 minutes off video running time. And he's not articulated. He is pretty much a statue. The only thing that is articulated on him is his arms. His head slightly moves. And his feet, they don't go anywhere. And as you can see, look at Freddy and Jason's pants. That has similar splash marks. So you know they're both movie Maniacs. And then you look at this Jason figure. He doesn't have any of the splash marks. He just has blood spattered on his pants. So you know this is a NECA. Because the movie Maniacs, I believe all the movie Maniac figures, they all have blood splashed all over them. And that's one way you know that they're McFarlane as opposed to NECA over here. So guys, I'll give you my rating of this Leatherface. Very, very cool. I love the detail. I love the yellowness that they gave to his shirt. I love the blood. I wish there was, I don't know, I wish there was a little bit more blood on his hands. How he got blood right here up on his forearms and not a lot of blood on his hands is beyond me. So I wish there was a little bit more blood on his hands. And how he got blood splashed on the back of his pants is beyond me. I don't know. Okay, very nice figure, guys. Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, I'll give this guy a solid 9. I definitely do like him. I think if I knew a little bit more about Leatherface, the score would probably be a little bit higher. Whoops, there's Jason tipping over. And his tie can move. yeah, if I knew a little bit more about Leatherface, maybe I would have given him a higher score. But just based on what I'm seeing right here, the detail, the blood splatteredness, the chainsaw. I love the chainsaw. I wish there was a little bit more blood on the chainsaw too, like on the edges of it, you know. But it's just kind of splashed on the chainsaw. You think there would be blood? Oh, here we go. This on the back. Yeah, you think there would be some more blood maybe on the front than there would be on the back. Yeah, it's like some more blood right here actually on, you know, the tips of the chainsaw. So, or the edges of the chainsaw, should I say. But overall, guys, very nice figure. I do recommend them if you love horror, if you love collecting, you know, cool horror movie action figures. Movie Maniacs by McFarlane is definitely the way to go. And NECA. But these McFarlane movie Maniacs are classics. And it's amazing, too, because, yeah, like I said, I do want to definitely get the Michael Myers to complete the 4 horsemen of horror movies, because I do believe these guys are the 4 horsemen. You know, the Jason, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and then the Michael Myers. Of course, there's other classic horror villains, but these guys are, in my opinion, the classic ones from the 70s and 80s. And one thing about these figures is you have Jason, you have Leatherface, and you have Michael Myers, who don't speak. They really don't say anything. But you have this Freddy Krueger, and he's very verbal. And I think out of all these figures, I think Freddy is definitely more popular than Leatherface, Jason, and maybe Michael Myers. I could be wrong, but I just feel that Freddy Krueger is just more popular, you know, amongst young people. You know, especially my generation. I think he's more relatable because he is more verbal, you know, whereas opposed to Leatherface and Jason, you know, even though they're iconic, and Michael Myers, of course, they're all iconic figures, but I think Freddy is more relatable today because he was more verbal, where the other 3, Jason, Michael Myers, and Leatherface, didn't really say anything, you know what I mean? I still like Freddy. Freddy is my favorite villain. It would be nice if they can do a remake of Freddy Krueger and do it right this time, you know what I mean? And make it entertaining, because that remake of it was just shit. So it's really hard to do a remake of a classic, but you know, if you get the right director, right story, and then you do it properly, then yeah, you can have yourself a classic. So, and they, of course, they try to remake Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they try to remake Halloween, which didn't really go over well. Are they ever going to remake Friday the 13th? Actually, I think they did remake Friday the 13th, and it didn't go over that well. So, yeah. They did remakes of all these movies, but it didn't go over all that well, whether it be the wrong director, whether it be the wrong acting, whether it was just a horrible story, whether the story doesn't relate to what's going on today. I think it was a combination of a lot of things, you know what I mean? So it'd be nice if somebody just did the story properly. And they are remaking, speaking of horror movies, they are remaking Child's Play, and that's just a classic. I hope they don't mess up that movie, because the first one is just amazing to watch. And hopefully they don't mess that one up, because because the first one is just a classic. I mean, why would you want to remake something so classic unless they do it right? You know, if they don't do it right, then it's going to be shit like the other remakes of these guys. So, there you go. There's my opinion on the horror movie genre and where it's at right now. But here is Leatherface Movie Maniacs, guys. Definitely a solid 9. I do definitely recommend this figure. Very awesome figure to have in your collection. So there you guys have it. If you like this video, hit the like button. Oh yeah, I forgot to include this horror villain over here. Look at him. Look at that movie maniac. Look at that psycho killer right there. His specialty in killing people is leaving stinky turds in his litter box and for me to smell so I can die in my sleep. So guys, if you like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do all that fancy, awesome, good stuff. Hit that notification button if you want to receive more awesome, cool reviews like this. And I do mean this is a cool review. So there you go. This was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Movie Maniacs, Todd McFarlane's Movie Maniacs. And there you guys have it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!